Welcome on into the podcast. I'm Brett.
I'm Dorian.
And we got some nerd news for you guys today, like every week. But before, we want to make sure that you guys are subscribed to our podcast, subscribed to our YouTube channel. We put out videos every week, as well as the podcast. And so, share with some friends. Help us out a little bit. It'd be awesome if you did that. So, but yeah, what are we talking about today, Dorian?
Oh, there was actually a decent amount of news this week. So we're going to be talking about the new Spider-Man movie, the third one with Tom Holland. I don't know what to call that movie, seeing how I don't feel like you should be calling it Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man Home Away from Home.
Yeah, something like that. We're also going to be talking about the most recent movie delays that have been coming out of Hollywood. Lots of them, yeah. And then the new Resident Evil movie reboot that's happening. But first things first, Cobra Kai Season 3 got a teaser
last Friday, right
after we recorded, yeah. So,
oh gosh.
So yeah, I mean, so spoiler warning if you guys haven't finished Cobra Kai, Season 2 and all that, but
go watch it because it's been out on Netflix for a couple months now. I
want to say about 2 months as of right now. Here.
I cannot fault those of you who haven't seen it because it would be harder to find. Purely based on it was on YouTube Premium for so long.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, so now it's on Netflix. Go binge watch those. I've been telling everyone I can.
Yeah.
I did not realize how popular it actually is on Netflix, though.
Dude, it's become Netflix's new cash cow, I feel like. Like, Witcher, Stranger Things, and now I think Cobra Kai are in their trifecta of their money makers, essentially.
Which I'm hoping they kind of ramp up production because this is not a show that seems like it takes a long time to shoot.
Not really. I mean, there's not a lot of special effects. It doesn't seem like you have to go and build some otherworldly sets or something like that, like you would for Stranger Things or The Witcher per se. You could go to just locations and just film.
Yeah. So basically in the trailer we see a couple things, but I think the coolest thing was probably the end where it says season 4 in training, which means they're shooting it or getting ready to shoot it
right
now.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where this show blew up on Netflix here.
Big time.
And, I don't think we're going to see an end to the whole Cobra Kai, run anytime soon. I think they're going to try to do as many seasons as they can before it becomes old and stale, probably is what's going to be happening.
Yeah. Yeah. So it got a release date for season 3. Mm-hmm. This is the season 3 teaser. Yeah. January 8th, 2021, which is pretty good.
I mean, I mean, granted, I kind of wish we got something this year, seeing how it's been over a year since season 2 came out. But I mean, it's happening. It's roughly 3 months away now at this point in time. Yeah. So I mean,
hey, I'll be off work. I'll be on paternity leave probably.
There you go.
So it announced season 4. A couple of the teases. So this was kind of a mixed bag of old footage and new footage.
Yeah, it kind of showed some of the last couple of scenes from season 2, basically.
I would say the 2 biggest things, maybe even 3 or 4 biggest things for me at least.
Yeah.
Number 1, Robbie's in jail.
Robbie's in jail, which I mean, I'm assuming it's because of what happened at the end of season 2 here, where he swept Miguel off the balcony and he basically
sidekicked and paralyzed him.
Yeah.
Potentially, we don't actually know.
Yeah.
And then, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
We've told you this.
Mm-hmm.
Miguel wakes up.
Cobra Kai never die.
Oh, obviously this was going to happen.
Yeah.
I have heard and I don't know how viable the source is. This is more of a maybe rumor. So take this with a grain of salt, but there are going to be 3 deaths in Cobra Kai season 3.
Really? Who are they rumored to be?
They're not saying obviously, but I think the writers have even come out or the directors have said, yeah, there's going to be 3 deaths. Now, could that be older characters? There's a huge speculation that the series is going to heavily revolve around Daniel and Johnny going to Okinawa, like in Karate Kid 2.
Right, yeah. That I have heard some rumors and buzz about that.
Here, I can see what was the guy's name he was in that fight with?
Oh, the one in like the one that Daniel fought in.
Yeah.
I forget his name here, but he was like essentially the Okinawan version of Johnny Lawrence here for the most part. Here.
Yeah, and that was more of a street fight, if I remember right.
For the most part,
It wasn't a points type of fight. It was an actual fight.
It was an actual fight, yeah.
And so I could see him maybe being in it and then
dying
somehow,
or something like that.
Or he had a master in that too, kind of similar to Kreese, I guess. So maybe it could be some of the older characters, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe Kreese dies. He's pretty old too.
I could.
Daniel's mom.
Yeah, Daniel's mom, I feel like is a strong candidate.
Yeah.
I could also, for whatever reason, I could see Hawk potentially dying as kind of like a shock factor kind of.
But then you don't really have a
redemption
kid.
arc.
Well, I don't know if there'll be a redemption arc for him, but you don't have like a kid antagonist. If that makes sense.
You don't, but it's also kind of one of those things where like Hawk is kind of like, he's not just like, strictly there just to be the villain here. It seems like, at least like how they've been writing his character. I mean, like in season 2, he definitely took on more of a villain type role.
I think he will still be in season 3 as well.
No, I think he'll definitely be in season 3. But I'm just saying, like, what if like Hawk's death is like one of the things that kind of like motivates, Johnny and like Daniel to team up to like bring Cobra Kai down? Because I mean, I feel like that's where this whole show is inevitably going here. Is like
season 4 potentially. Yeah,
I could see them like at the end of like season. The end of season 3, like something happens, maybe like, Hawk dies or something like that because of Kreese or something like that. And they're like, okay, enough is enough. Like we got to put aside our differences and we got to, stop this here.
Yeah. I honestly, I personally can't see it being one of the kids. I think it's going to be just those older characters that they're kind of phasing out of the franchise.
Possibly. Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, that would be a pretty big shock if it was one of the kids.
I mean, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I could.
Or like Hawk gets super into drugs and ODs or something.
That's why I can kind of see it happening just because of the shock value and all that here. Possibly. I mean, like as kind of like a big like, oh wow, like that was like a big kind of cliffhanger moment or something along those lines.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I feel like there was just enough in this. Like, so a couple of other things that kind of were interesting to me is you see a battered and bruised Johnny. So you do. You see a battered and bruised Kreese. So you think maybe there's another fight between them.
Yeah,
at some point.
More likely than not, probably. Yeah.
We'll see. Johnny's drinking again.
Yep.
I think he's gonna have his come to Jesus moment, basically. Come to Daniel or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Where maybe he was in a fist fight with who knows, maybe some thug. It doesn't matter. He got his butt kicked because he was drunk, and maybe Daniel picks him up and takes him to their place. Maybe he's homeless. There's a myriad of things that. Well, yeah,
because I mean, he doesn't have like any revenue anymore now.
No, he's broke.
Exactly. So, no, it's no, and then obviously the one thing that we really haven't mentioned is like the whole Allie coming back into the whole.
That's still a rumor, I guess, as of now, right?
What, that she's coming back?
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, like at the very end of like season 2, like they.
Well, you got the tease that she sent him a friend request on Facebook or something.
Right. So
there's definitely going to be some element of Allie.
I mean, in some way, shape, or form. I mean, I would be very surprised if like you have a tease like that and you don't follow up with it in like this.
I feel like you definitely have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
I mean, if not, then I don't know what you guys are doing over there. But
and then there was who was the ponytail dude? Was it Terry Silver one of the Karate Kids? He was another Cobra Kai guy. Do you remember him?
I don't. Off the top
it's
of my
also
head.
rumored he might show up at some point.
Well, I mean, they definitely
makes sense.
Well, they had like
Jaden Smith's gonna start being the lead role. I'm just kidding.
I was just thinking that. Like, yeah,
I don't think they'll even mention that movie.
Let's get Hilary Swank in there too.
That would be funny.
That would be funny.
Even just a cameo or something.
Yeah, something. But no, I think they could definitely bring back some of Johnny's Cobra Kai buddies, just because they did in the last season here, and like the one that famously said get him a body bag, ended up dying in a body bag here.
He actually passed away in real life.
He did too. Yeah, after like after that whole shooting and like after it aired and all that. Yeah.
But I was gonna say, I was just thinking through something. I don't know. It'll come back to me probably at some point. But yeah, I'm excited to see Robbie's hair's cut. I hated that haircut. I'm glad his hair's cut, and it's a little bit more
tamed.
More tame. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I'm excited to see kind of where season 3 goes, and I'm hoping maybe a couple more episodes than they have in the past. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, yeah, it just kind of depends. I mean, I feel like season 2 there was there was a little bit of meandering before you got to like, the good stuff or whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to have that teen drama,
Oh yeah. Yeah. There was no shortage of that. In season 2.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. So, all right, let's move on. So there was a trailer for Robert Kirkman's new show, Invincible. It's an animated show.
Yeah.
Based on a comic he did in 2003. And it looks pretty decent. It definitely a Superman vibe and definitely an adult vibe.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. It's going to be kind of gory from like what the trailer was kind of implicating and all that. And then, I mean, Superman vibe, but also just like the kind of typical superhero coming of age vibe here. You got
he's
like
learning to use his powers.
Well, right, learning to use his powers. You've seen that like quite a few times, like in Superman, obviously, but also in Spiderman and like just a bunch of like different other superhero movies as well here.
Yeah, so
anything that has like a teenage like superhero for the most part.
Yeah, so his dad's basically teaching him how to use his powers. His dad is from a different planet. I have that info I could pull up right now if we want to get deep on it.
Sure.
But
like so while you're doing that, I'll just kind of go over who we got for like the voice talent on this thing. But so we got some kind of like a little bit of a Legend of Korra voice actor reunion here. You got Steven Yeun, which he played Glenn on The Walking Dead, but he also played Avatar Wan.
Yeah, the first Avatar.
Yep, first Avatar in Legend of Korra. But then also you have J.K. Simmons, who voiced Tenzin. He's going to be voicing the dad. So see, and I should probably mention Steven Yeun is playing the main character in this show here. So I mean it's both good actors, both good voice talent.
Yeah. So Steven Yeun's character his name is Marcus Grayson, and he is the son of a superhero called Omni-Man. So his dad's Omni-Man. His name's Invincible. That's why the show's called Invincible.
Sure.
So Omni-Man is an extraterrestrial superhero of the Voltramite race.
Yeah, so I mean
similar to Krypton.
Yeah, very Superman kind of origin story for the most part here.
Yeah, so Invincible inherited his father's superhuman strength and ability to fly, and he has sworn to protect Earth. And then he's just like it's about coming of age story basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, and then Invincible's half human, half the race of his dad.
Gotcha. So he has some vulnerabilities or like
so I'm guessing that's why he probably doesn't have every power his dad has.
Right.
But, so it looks really cool. I'm honestly the most stoked about the voice talent.
Sure.
J.K. Simmons and Steven, is it Yuen? Is it or Yoon?
I think
can't
it's
remember.
Yoon.
Both great actors. J.K. Simmons, obviously, Tenzin from the Avatar, but also J. Jonah Jameson from the original Spider-Man movies.
Have you by any chance seen him in Whiplash at all here?
Have not.
Like,
I've never heard of Whiplash.
Yeah, I mean he's like kind of crazy in Whiplash. It's kind of fun to watch.
So, but that just dropped. I think it'll be cool. It's not gonna be on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And so I don't think there's a release date or anything quite yet.
I didn't notice one, to be honest. But I mean, just given like how much footage they had for this trailer, it kind of seems like by and large, like most of the work on it is probably done. And so it should be probably making the rounds pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely.
I would imagine. But yeah, I mean, no, this looks interesting. It doesn't look like really anything like too new or too crazy. It kind of seems like maybe like it might be kind of delving in more with like what like most like superhero TV shows and movies that kind of like that have this element, they kind of like maybe just gloss over, like, or just kind of like go into it just like briefly. This like seems like it's going to be like mostly about like just this, about learning to use your powers, learning how to be, a superhero, learning, the whole great power comes great responsibility shtick and all that here, essentially. I mean, kind of like I guess like maybe Smallville to a certain extent, I would say, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We shall see.
Yeah.
For those of you Mando fans out there, I'm excited. That comes out this month, obviously, just a couple weeks.
Yeah, no, we're not far off here from that.
Yeah, and so the Writers Guild released who's writing each episode, basically, of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It's basically the same split as the original. So Jon Favreau doing the majority of the work, and then he had 2 other writers in season 1.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni's coming back as a writer-director.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to say Rick's last name. Rick Famuyiwa, I think is his name.
Sure.
He directed one episode last season, but didn't write anything. Christopher, I can't remember his last name. He's not writing anymore for them. But so Rick's gonna helm that episode basically all around when it comes to the writing in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping that this split isn't like an indication of like that standalone run that we had last season. And if it is, I hope that with like the story of this season, like it's more like, if we do have like kind of more like standalone episodes, it's like serving like a greater whole to like the story or something like that. Because I think that was like one of the main things that, people had and I had with the last season of Mandalorian was like, it was, you had like the first 3 episodes, very plot focused, like, in terms of like the overall story arc. You took a break for like about 3 episodes, and then you went back on track for like the last 2 here.
Right. Yeah, we'll see what happens with it. I know that they're still bringing in all those directors they talked about.
Sure.
I think I honestly enjoyed pretty much every episode of The Mandalorian last season.
I'm not saying like those episodes were trash or anything like that. I just felt like, okay, there are definitely episodes I like more.
Oh yeah.
Than like those 3 that we had. Even though like I did enjoy like what I watched here for the most part.
Yeah. And I understand why those like standalone episodes happen, is to further plot points in the future.
Well, it's also world building for the most part. Yeah.
And season 1 definitely has to do that. I hope they capitalize on that. I don't want them to have,
Bill Burr and his friends never show up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like yeah.
So
yeah,
hopefully we get that again. And honestly, that was probably my favorite episode of the whole season, was that episode.
Really?
One of them.
I mean, yeah. I mean, in terms of standalone episodes, that is definitely my favorite one.
Yeah. So,
but yeah.
Resident Evil origin story movie has its cast.
Yeah. So, it's kind of hard to keep track of like how many Resident Evil projects.
Everything is Resident Evil.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of coming back, kind of popping. But basically, so I mean Netflix has like a CGI like Resident Evil movie that's going to be coming out soon. They also have the live action TV show coming on Netflix that's going to be focusing around Albert Wesker's daughters. But this is going to be probably like the one that I think maybe most fans are kind of excited for, just because this is going to be like essentially a reboot of like the live action Resident Evil movies. And this is also going to be really like taking cues from like the first couple of games here. So like, you got like for one, like pretty much like the main characters. You have Kaya Scolodario as Claire Redfield. She was in the Maze Runner movies, and she was also the main lead main female lead in the 5th Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Never saw it.
You have Hannah. I mean, wasn't great.
Yeah.
You have Hannah John Carmen as Jill Valentine. She was the villain in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and she was she was also what's the villain's name in Ready Player One? Like the main villain? Yeah, the main villain.
Frick.
The guy that's in charge of the Sixers.
I know. I'm trying to. I can't think of anything.
Anyhow, right but like in Ready Player One, she's his right hand man essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
She's hunting down Wyatt Watts and all that in the van and all that. But then you have Robbie Amell, who is going to be playing Chris Redfield, which I feel like, like, why wouldn't you here?
Him or his brother, really.
Yeah, or, well, cousin.
I'm pretty sure they're brothers.
They're cousins.
Oh, they're cousins?
They're cousins. But yeah, he's going to be...
It's weird you know that, but that's okay.
Well, I mean, I did have a picture with the man here,
Did you ask him?
Oh, we talked. We said, like, okay. Like, yeah, exactly. That's about it.
Yep.
Anyhow, so, so he's going to be... So, you know him from playing Firestorm on The Flash, and then he was also in the Code 8, the superhero movie on Netflix.
He was also Fred in a Scooby-Doo TV movie that they did on Cartoon Network, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. So
you don't need to.
I don't.
It's weird that I know that.
It is. So Tom Hopper is going to be Albert Wesker, which you know him from the Umbrella Academy. He's the
number one.
Yeah, he's the main
Thor
character. Yeah, and then Avon Jogia, I want to say that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, probably somewhere.
He's going to be Leon S. Kennedy. He like the most notable movie
Victorious.
But
the TV show.
The most notable movie that he's been in recently was the second Zombieland movie that came out last year. And then Neil McDonough. Is that how you pronounce it? McDonough. That's probably, he's going to be William Birkin. And he played Damien Dark in Arrow here. So
easily one of the best villains on that show.
Yeah, no, most definitely. So I think this cast mostly pretty spot on. I felt like, like a lot of the people, like they look like their counterparts and all that. With the exception of Leon. Leon's kind of a little bit of an oddball pick here, but I think this is kind of like, I don't know. This is something that
Why Dorian?
Why?
I'm just kidding.
Well, no,
he is. We were kind of talking about it before the pod, and I think he's a good actor. Potentially,
I haven't seen.
He's
him
great,
in
Victorious. I'm just kidding. I think I haven't seen an episode of that show. But no, definitely. It doesn't strike me as someone who would play this character either.
No,
he's also rumored to play Prince Zuko, or he's on a short list to play Prince Zuko for the Avatar.
Which I could definitely see, but I mean with this here, it's kind of like with Leon, you want somebody who can like have that Leonardo kind of DiCaprio hair. Basically, is kind of what he is, and he's kind of a smart aleck, cracking jokes every now and again and stuff like that, like being like the coolest guy in the room type of thing here, but. That being said, I mean, I think they could probably pull it off just because what's the name of the actor that played Solo in Solo?
Oh gosh,
it's like Aldrich something.
Yeah, Alden. It's like Edelrich or something like
something like that. But like when they first showed me, like like some of the pictures from like his other movies of. Okay, yeah, this is going to be...
Alden Eldritch, I think is what it is.
Yeah, like when they first showed me like pictures of like some of his other movies that he was in, I'm like, this guy doesn't look like Harrison Ford here and all that. But...
Watch the movie,
Well, right. By the time you get there, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, no, hair and makeup definitely earned themselves a raise here, basically.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of superheroes and whatnot, I guess.
Yeah.
Unless you have anything to add on the end of that. Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Spider-Man 3 is getting a lot of details thrown at us.
The new Spider-Man 3.
Not the Bully Maguire.
Yeah.
Not that movie. The new Spider-Man 3 with Tom Holland. Hopefully we get a title, honestly, soon so we can stop calling it Spider-Man 3.
Call it, something. Well, I think they're, actually ramping up production for this because it's supposed to be filming this fall, and with all the new details that we've been getting, it makes sense that we'll probably get something more substantial like a title fairly soon here.
Yeah, what I'm guessing is we'll probably get a title I don't know, next summer.
Really? Next summer?
I don't know. Comic-Con.
No.
You think they'll release it before?
Well, because
I guess they did that accidental thing with Tom Holland on the iPad, right?
Right, but the thing is like this is supposed to come out next year, like in December.
Oh, okay.
So it's
probably I would say spring for sure.
I mean,
if not like early
minimum,
next year.
I could see it like before the end of the year. They announced the title for this year. I mean,
so Jamie Foxx tweeted his Electro is not going to be blue.
Yeah,
which is good because I don't ever remember him being blue.
Well, he was blue
in the movie.
Oh, you mean okay? Yeah,
in the lore of Spider-Man.
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
I hope he has that green and yellow suit with the electricity bolts from the animated series.
He's just got like a big like lightning bolt on his face.
That'd be great.
Made out of felt or something like that. Yeah, no, it'd be good.
And so he also picked. So before we get into this, that little, like we have like a little details with that. I want to talk about someone else who's joining the cast. So we have officially heard that Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be appearing as Doctor Strange in Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man 3. He's going to be a mentor figure similar to Tony Stark in the past and Nick Fury.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Nick Fury,
right? Yeah. The fake Nick Fury.
Yeah,
it makes sense, but then this almost confirms the Spider-Verse. Which is double confirmed basically by Jamie Foxx's picture that he tweeted, which is seemingly 3 spider persons
and like this like weird like dimensional rift happening in the sky basically.
Yeah.
So last week I basically talked like, I don't know if they would do a Spider-Verse.
Wrong.
Because like it might be too much for this movie with like, I figured like it was going to be I figured they would do something kind of similar to like the Civil War storyline where like, Peter Parker reveals his identity and then that like there's like a side stories off of that basically he's got to like, keep, Aunt May and Mary Jane safe because, every villain knows who he is and they're coming for him and all that. But now that seems like that might be a little bit of like just not like a central plot point. That might be something that's kind of like, that's like Peter Parker struggling with in the background kind of thing here or something like that. Like the Peter Parker conflict and then you have the Spider-Man conflict that you typically have like with each Spider-Man movie here.
Well, and I can honestly see this if it is going Spider-Verse, have it clean up and even say,
like reset it.
Either reset it or they actually discover like Tobey Maguire's like he reveals himself as Spider-Man or Andrew Garfield. So it's not their Peter Parker, it's this other guy.
Well, yeah, because I mean there's and I mean that's the thing too. It's like, and this adds like a lot of things to it as well, just because you also have like obviously, things like Morbius and Venom here, which were originally not supposed to be a part of the MCU here. So now this kind of like says, okay, this is how we can do it here, and not like it, they're from a different universe here. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, I'm almost betting at this point that with the 3 Spider-Man that were teased in there, it's gonna be Tom Holland, it's gonna be Tobey Maguire, and Andrew Garfield here. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like I kind of feel like, okay, yeah, you guys definitely set yourselves up for that.
Do you tease Miles Morales?
Possibly. I mean, I could see that happening too, but it's one, especially when you have Sam Raimi directing Doctor Strange as well here.
Yeah, so that's what we could talk about too, is the way that the timeline's set. This is going to happen before Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Right, exactly.
And I'm guessing he's going to be dealing with a byproduct of Spider-Man 3.
Well, yeah, so basically with this, I think this is going to like kind of set off the chain of events because Multiverse of Madness comes out, I think, about 6 months after this movie is supposed to come out here. So, yeah, no, it absolutely makes sense. I think it's it's definitely going to be an interesting watch here. I think they're definitely, at this point in time, they are definitely doing Spider-Verse at this point. It's just to what degree, I don't think we'll get anything like as crazy as like say as like Into the Spider-Verse, where you got like all the psychedelic colors and stuff like that, right, per se, no. and like 6 Spider-Man or whatever the number was. But I definitely see that this type of storyline, plot line, whatever you want to call it, it is going to be happening in this movie. I would be shocked if it didn't.
Yeah, or at least starting in this movie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enough about Spider-Man or the Spider-Men of the
Yeah.
multiverse. Let's talk about some really fun news about delays.
Yeah. The greatest
best
news.
part of our week.
Best part of our week. Yeah. So
honestly, I'm just kind of getting over these. I'm really done with them.
Well, I mean, essentially, like, you know, like Hollywood has said, yeah, no, we're not gonna put out anything in 2020 for the most part here. I mean, which shame, but you know, I get it. It's kind of like one of those things where you know you rather be cautious rather than like reckless here. But and I mean, and I think it's also another one of the other things that kind of contributed to that is Tenet didn't perform as well as people were expecting or hoped it would. So I think that's kind of one of those things where it's just like, yeah, we need to hold off and wait until this thing actually is kind of like we're out of the woods of the coronavirus essentially. So
yeah, so No Time to Die, which I'm guessing is James Bond.
It is James Bond, yeah.
I said that kind of facetiously, I guess, but so it went from November 20th this year to April 2nd, 2021.
Yep.
And
so which is
like
funny.
5 months away.
Well, it's funny because I think that movie was initially supposed to come out in April of this year here. So it's like
it's a full year.
So yeah, so basically a full year delay for the most part. Yeah.
Dune got delayed. Supposed to come out Christmas this season basically. So December 18th, not coming out till the next October 1st, 2021.
Now, my question is, but Brett, what? Isn't the Batman supposed to be coming out October of 2021?
No, it's not. Yeah.
Son of a...
Just break everything.
I will.
Yeah, the Batman's delayed from October 1st. And this is really weird. They're pushing it back to March 4th, which that's my birthday weekend. My birthday is March 2nd, if you want to give me a gift. 2022. So we're not even talking 2020 to 2021. We're talking from 2021 now pushed back to 2022.
So we are like a little under a year from this movie coming out here. We still don't exactly know what the state of the world is going to be at this time. But you know what? Let's delay it and put the movie about sandworms and desert people here in its place instead here. And we'll let all the people who actually are optimistic about this movie suffer.
Yeah. Matrix 4 got bumped up though.
Why? Like who is excited about this movie? I am not. I mean, all four of you Matrix 4 fans, I mean, yeah, great. Have a day, or something like that. But I mean,
so yeah, that's going to be coming out December 22nd, 2021.
Okay.
Originally
all right,
slated for April 1st, 2022.
I was going to say this until after this whole thing we got through all the delays, but I'm just going to go off on it right now here.
Yeah.
Why would you not just schedule Dune for
December or
something? Exactly. And then you leave the Matrix where it's at and you leave Batman where it's at.
I don't know why they swapped all that. Is it the same studio? Is it WB?
Yeah, no, it's all WB.
Dude, I don't know.
I mean, yeah. And I mean, here's the thing. It's like with WB like doing all this here, especially if they're pulling Dune when it's like, it's like what, 2 months away now here roughly. Wonder Woman ain't coming out this year. If they're willing to pull Dune, which is like I think a week before Wonder Woman comes out, because it's now I guess supposed to be coming out Christmas, it's not coming out. It's not coming out this year.
Probably April, I guess. As soon as we'll see some of these movies.
Yep. Which I mean makes it interesting because essentially now Birds of Prey by default is the best superhero movie of the year.
Because there weren't any.
That or New Mutants or something like that.
Yeah,
so
it's been a sad year.
Yeah.
Our children will look back on 2020 and be like, why was there nothing that year? Like, well, let me tell you a story, little Timmy.
Kids won't be...
they won't care.
No, they won't. They're like, no, I'm too busy playing Fortnite 3 here or something.
I'm watching Cobra Kai season 12. Come on, Dad.
Yeah, come on.
And then we got Pixar's Soul, which honestly, for a lot of these movies, just go to a VOD format and make your money.
Call it good.
Pixar's Soul will be coming to Disney Plus December 25th. Mm-hmm. Not sure if this is a premiere service or a regular. I'm guessing it's going to be a premiere service.
Yeah.
And then we got Jurassic World Dominion getting delayed from 2021 to summer of 2021 to basically summer of 2022.
Now, this one, like, I understand just because they haven't, like, finished filming this whole thing here. Yeah. They're still in production and, whatnot. This is not like, like Dune or whatever here where it's like, by and large that movie's done here. Like, I think they just have to do a few reshoots here. But, yeah. Even that, it's like, with Dune, it's like I don't understand. Like, this movie's practically done here. I don't understand why you have to delay it to, like, say, October or something like that here.
Yeah.
When you could have, like, just, I don't know, made that like an April movie or like
April or May,
or something along those lines here. But, yeah.
We'll see. I'm sure it'll get moved again.
Yeah.
Whether that's up or back, I don't know.
I mean,
I think a lot of these movies, these are just placeholders. They're not going to be for sure until we know who wins the election. So
yeah, no. Yep. A lot riding on this election, everybody here, Like, I'll just be like the whole social media thing here, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those people. Make sure you're registered to vote here, for like the 500th time or whatever.
Yeah. Trust me, I'm registered. Been for a while. Since I was 18.
Yeah.
I don't get people who don't. Side tangent. Yeah. Anyway, so Cyberpunk 2077 has gone gold.
Yeah, so
solid.
So this is kind of this is essentially this week.
This is the silver lining.
Well, this week is like a prime example of me saying something, like the week before, saying
and
like
not coming true,
and like basically the opposite happening. Because I was saying last week that I think this thing's going to get delayed because they were doing mandatory overtime at CD Projekt Red. They also there was also some rumors saying that the developers aren't like completely satisfied with the melee combat and stuff like that. Now it's done, and so this is finally happening. We get Keanu and all the other stuff that comes with it. Yeah, I mean,
November 19th, baby.
Please be excited.
Hopefully the game doesn't suck.
I mean, unless like that Mega 64 video is anything to be believed here.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, so if you guys like Mortal Kombat, your favorite Rambo, your only Rambo, John Rambo, is going to be coming to Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah, it's going to be based off of how he looks in First Blood, and it'll be fully voiced by Sylvester Stallone, the man himself.
Stallone coming out of retirement.
Yeah, I mean,
he's like 84 years old now.
He is, so. Yeah. Coming out of retirement. Did he ever go in retirement?
He might have had a slight retirement in like the early 2000s.
Like 2 years or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I get this game is essentially become like a big homage to the 80s here. You got Predator, you got Alien, you got the Terminator, you got like all sorts of characters from that. I think like Freddy Krueger and Jason were in there at some point or whatnot. I mean, this one is kind of a hilarious addition and kind of a little bit of an oddball addition, just because.
Why isn't Rocky in this game?
I mean, he probably will at this point. I mean, we'll get Arnold Schwarzenegger from Commando. That way you have like, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator and Arnold Schwarzenegger Commando going at each other.
Honestly, I'd rather have an Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not? I mean, the crazy thing about this game, and like one of the, I think, glaring like omissions in terms of like, guest characters, Doomslayer.
Yeah.
He would be perfect for this.
They could still.
They could. Yeah, but they
release about 1,000 characters every Mortal Kombat, so.
Yeah, basically.
So yeah, Final Fantasy might be coming out. Final Fantasy 16 might be coming out sooner than we think.
Yeah, basically Square Enix is saying that the basic development is done on that game. We don't necessarily know what exactly that means. They said that they still need to do like boss fights, and like their website, I guess, is also recruiting for people to work on the cutscenes of the game and stuff like that, which that can take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But if this is like what I mean, if basic development, like you get the mechanics and like all the combat and like the core mechanics of the game essentially done, I could see this game potentially coming out like maybe late 2021 or early 2022. That's my prediction.
No, yeah, I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, Tsushima.
That word.
Ghost of Tsushima is getting an update.
Yeah.
And it's for free update, right?
It's completely for free. It's going to be coming out as of this podcast going up this Friday. It's going to be adding a new game plus mode. It's going to be adding more armor dyes, so like armor skins that you can like customize your armor with.
Yeah.
You have loadouts for your armor, so you can like anytime you like change into a specific armor, you'll have like specific weapons equipped. So if you have like a ranged, you put on like your ranged armor, like you can like have your bow and arrows, like just be the default, like just right off the bat. And you're going to have more options for photo mode, but the big one is the co-op mode, which is going to be happening. It's going to have some 2-player story missions, but it's also going to have like a 4-player survival mode as well here. So no, I'm going to be giving it a shot probably this Friday. Yeah, it looks like a good time. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. No, I like it. And something interesting that I wanted to talk about was High Republic gets an opening crawl.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, just the standard opening crawl you get for a series of novels and all that here.
I'm trying to pull it up. Basically, this is interesting to me because we had Star Wars movies that didn't even have opening crawls. So we had Rogue One.
Yeah, Solo.
And Solo.
Yeah.
And so
even Mandalorian technically doesn't. Yeah, Mandalorian doesn't have an opening crawl here either. But I mean, that's a TV show. So.
I mean, High Republic isn't even a movie.
Exactly.
Not yet, at least.
Yeah. It'll get there.
It'll get there, yeah. If my phone actually loads it.
You might just have to Google it.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, I just think it's hilarious that they're like, hey, we got these books. Let's do an opening crawl for them. Like, like the thing that you associate with the Star Wars movies. Yeah, we're going to just do an opening crawl.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. And it doesn't give like a whole lot away. Like,
well, I mean, I think that's kind of like the whole idea.
But there isn't even a whole lot of setup, basically.
Yeah. Like, does it provide a decent amount of setup?
So here we go. You ready?
Yeah, let's hear it.
The galaxy is at peace, ruled by the glorious Republic.
Okay.
And protected by the noble and wise Jedi Knights.
Okay.
As a symbol of all that is good, the Republic is about to launch the Starlight Beacon.
What is that? Into
the farther reaches of the Outer Rim. This new space station will serve as a ray of hope for all to see. But just as a magnificent renaissance spreads through the Republic, so does a frightening new adversary. Now the Guardians of Peace and Justice must face a threat to themselves, the galaxy, and the Force itself.
Interesting.
So, I don't know. Just kind of hinting at new evil.
Definitely building up the intrigue here, I would say. Yeah, pretty much does what an opening crawl does. It's just set up here for the most part for the larger story. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting because, like, when are these books supposed to be coming out?
Well, they were supposed to already be out.
Right.
One of them at least. So they're coming out in January. I think they got delayed too, the first book.
Now, because I know that there's going to be like essentially the main line, which is going to be like the young, kind of like the young adult kind of essentially driven books, but then there's like also like a couple like other side books or something like that.
Yeah, mostly for like younger readers.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if those will have a major part to do with the canon of Star Wars, but
that'd be hilarious. That way you have to read those cardboard children's books in order to like get the full story.
That's where he got his lightsaber.
Exactly. Yeah,
that'd be funny.
That would be funny.
Anyway, that's all we got for this week. Thank you guys so much for listening. We greatly appreciate it. Check us out on our social medias. Make sure you subscribe, leave a review on YouTube and all the podcast places. Thanks for listening, and just remember, everyone's nerd about something
or something like that.
Yeah.